When you have devices using a layer 3 interface for their gateway to talk to the rest of the network, most of the time you'd want to make that redundant. So what we can do using first hop redundancy is we can actually share the responsibility for that gateway across multiple devices. We do that by using a virtual IP address that the multiple devices share, and we call that first hop redundancy protocols, and they provide redundancy at layer 3. 3 first hop redundancy protocols that the Nexus switching supports is called HSRP, or Hot Standby Routing Protocol, VRRP, or Virtual Router Redundancy Protocol, and GLBP, which is Gateway Load Balancing Protocol. The Nexus devices also provide extra high availability features so that if there's an issue with the process, we can actually automatically statefully restart that process without losing connection. We also have what's called in-service software upgrades, so we can do upgrades while we're still running traffic across the device. And we have SSO, or stateful switchover, which allows us to switch from one supervisor to another without losing any traffic. Our first hop router redundancy protocols are also compatible with a feature called VPC, or Virtual Port Channel. VPC is an advanced feature that is supported on the Nexus product line, and we'll learn about that more in our DCI-CT class. But when you use VPC, these first hop router redundancy protocols can actually act in what we call an active-active mode, meaning that not only is it redundant across multiple devices, but both sides are active in answering requests at the same time, and there's no additional configuration required. Traditionally, when you're not using VPC or Virtual Port Channel, we see people adjusting timers to make failover happen more quickly, but in this case, we don't have to do that because both sides are active-active. So there are definitely some benefits to running VPC with your first hop router redundancy protocol. The other thing to consider is that Nexus is actually a little bit different than iOS in the fact that with HSRP, we actually use the keyword HSRP with NXOS instead of standby, which is what we did in iOS. So for instance, some of the commands might be show HSRP active, show HSRP all. Those type of commands use the keyword HSRP instead of standby like we did in iOS. Also, when you start to configure HSRP or some other protocols like GLBP, you then get into subcommands that allow you to configure that protocol. Please join me for the next lesson, 10.4, Understanding Gateway Load Balancing Protocol.